Welcome back to Occultists Anonymous, sponsored by y'all. Thank you very much to our patrons who support us monetarily. Thank you to Adele, Alice, Al, Alexander, Alsred, Bernie, Buck, Chris, Doc, Emil, Jeff, George, Yanthe did nothing wrong. I am the real 06. James, John, Camo, Catfeathers, Klaus, Milo, V3, Moku, Mozart D minor, Noctal, Other Guy, Perry, Foog, Polka Dot Hubris, Porter, Puppeteer, Riafio, Sean, Shaxara, Starfish, Terran, Thomas, Verhext, Vincent, Vortex Falcon, and Zoltan. Thank you all so much for your support. Also, new folks, I really, really appreciate you, but you have thrown off this like muscle memory that I had developed, and I'm like, It's like watching somebody learn to drive stick.
Yep.
So when we last left the gang, we had rescued more folks and had discovered some gnarly inaccuracies or downright missing information about one of the rescued men, and it did the mage thing. This is a mystery, and all the mages started questioning everything, especially for the first time ever. Isabel was like, this man has no timeline. His timeline is from like a couple days ago and nothing else. So immediately something is up, because this is not normal. And they discovered that Saturday night. But in Purgatory Bluff, Sunday morning, everybody's in church. So we have the coven split up 3-1 odds. And I think the vast majority...
Sorry, someone's not in the coven yet.
That's fair. That's true. So the coven is at the Catholic
coven
Church.
Goes to church.
The coven goes to Catholic Church.
That Diamond Order apostate goes to the Protestant Church.
Appropriate word considering what you're talking about.
Yep. So y'all are split up. And we had some discussion, but how much has the group pushed, especially here because it's the trio of you, pushed and discussed and kind of nudged things towards a more syncretic worldview? Because notably, we have a practitioner of voodoo. Then we have the mage blessed by God with powers. And then we have the Romani who...
Good friends.
Yeah. It's like we got some interesting well, I guess Catherine isn't Romani. Roma? Yeah, not Romani. Had a moment there. So there's a little bit of disparity. Chris, are you with us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you had not blinked, bro.
Very still. Sorry, I was dialed in there, didn't it?
Sure. So yes, the very good friends couple. So have you guys nudged things, or have you kind of laid low, or like in the case of Isabel, like have you just been no, this is the standard teachings, or have you guys, we're mages, so we see beyond, so we don't really care now?
I don't think that Isabel has pushed for anything because, one, I don't know. Yeah, like she has learned something new about the world, and that has expanded her view of her faith and everything, but it doesn't necessarily reflect on how other people are going to experience it. And also, like, witches.
Yep.
Been, sort of a
stereotypically,
interesting experience.
Historically, yeah.
Well supported.
Let's just say there are several examples.
Church is amenable to witchcraft.
There's several instances in history where women who have claimed to have been blessed by like knowledge and powers from God have not been treated well. And on top of that, she has a she has a secular role of power within the community.
Very
and
true.
like mixing those would not be something that she would think to do.
Yeah, because at this day and age, we've had separation of, church and state. It's the American thing, but even out here, it's been kind of separated out for quite a while now. So, okay, that makes sense. What about Cloak being, for a while, Ungun Cloak, the leader of, these folks, but you've kind of passed that mantle on.
Yeah.
Have deep philosophical discussions with the priest?
Well, I'm sure they talk a lot. I mean, let's say the nature of Vodou is a protection of your own beliefs in the context of colonial hegemony, right? The requirement to adopt and profess the beliefs of a novel religion that is brought to you from people who are forcing you to take it because that's what they believe, people who are oppressing you, right?
Right.
So the thing is, Vodou is about acknowledging the truth in Catholicism while also believing in the truth of what inspired Vodou, West African faiths and stuff like that, right? So, yeah, the Orisha. So, I don't think Cloak would have any let's say any specific motivation to get this priest to start espousing the syncretic ideals of Vodou. I think it would just be kind of matter of fact about it, right? Like here, if he's not experiencing, I think the same attitudes that were present in Haiti from the French, right? Then he would probably be more forthcoming about the virtues of recognizing truth in multiple places and from multiple sources of wisdom.
Sure. Okay.
But because there's no way anyone's getting away from the fact that half of the town is part of a voodoo mystery cult, right? He doesn't feel like he needs to make them more prominent. He doesn't need to make voodoo more prominent. It's like everyone's like, that's it. It's like it's over. That's never going away.
It's true. You had the demographics behind you. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Right. Like he's like it's part of the town unless everyone disappears. Right. Unless all the Maroons leave, or for some reason they abandon voodoo. Right. I can't imagine that happening. Right. Then I don't think he feels any sense of
not to push it at the church, basically.
Precarity. Yeah, he doesn't feel like it's the faith or belief is in any danger of absence as a consequence of participation in the Catholic Church. They're already doing that, right? They're like, we're used to this. This is familiar. So yeah, that's what he would do. He would also not feel like he needs to get the Catholic priest to start saying things that accommodate the weirdness that he does. Because, the unique or the convenient part of Cloak being who he is and then adopting the shadow name Legba is that, one, he's, the part of a mystery cult. So they're already accommodating the supernatural things he does as a part of their own beliefs and the belief system of the mystery cult. And two, because that's connected there, people in town are like, he's just the weird voodoo priest. So if he walks around and does stuff that, if they see Legba walking around, right? Like this is no stranger than the Maroons appearing here suddenly, right? This is all part of the weirdness. It doesn't need any specific accommodations or anything that he thinks the priest should espouse to make it easier for him.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, they do chat a bunch, and he shares insights where he can.
And then Theo, you're just here to not get stoned.
Well, that was part. I think when she first arrived there, because of her, she doesn't have it anymore. But at the time, she had striking lips, which caused some friction with some locals. Yeah. I think there was probably a few pointed sermons, right?
Sure,
like sermons written for a person. But after that, they entered into some sort of a detente, like, you're not going to fuck with me. I'm not going to fuck with you. There's some borders here, and we'll just be, part of a community, and so she's there for the social aspect, not for any kind of faith sort of stuff.
Okay. Cool.
Plus, that historically churches have taken a somewhat dim view of people that have come back from the dead.
Yeah. Well, that history. Well, I mean,
it's a one-pointed exception, but in general, yeah.
I mean, it depends on how you came back.
Yep.
Yes.
You might get sainted.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
One point of exception.
Yeah.
Love that. That's a great line.
But okay. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, it's for the majority of you, it's like we don't have a dog in the fight. We're not pushing any kind of thing. We're just participating socially, or just for just to muscle memory kind of stuff. Okay, cool. And then Helena, she's just kind of cruising, if I remember correctly. Just like,
yeah, she is on like friendly terms with the folks at the church. She goes and she sits, makes an appearance, probably contributes to any, like, I don't know, did they do like potluck meals and such things?
Mm-hmm.
Gatherings.
Because we're going to get to that part.
Yeah, like I was saying, I don't think she has listened to a preacher since she awakened.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much the one Ron Swanson, I know more than you vibe.
Very true.
Because, like, she thinks she got...
I've seen God.
Yeah. I know what I'm meant to be
Especially
doing.
from an Abrumos perspective.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, she goes, she makes an appearance, she's social. She is not listening.
Sure. Okay. I like that. So, yes. We have our lovely Sunday service. Protestants start later, finish earlier. But that just means that their task is shortly after church is done, some tables are wheeled out from the tavern, because there's still just the one, out into the green field that more or less the town is built around. The tree that's there in the center is actually got some shade now. There's some growth to it, and people have commented that it definitely seemed to have grown faster than they expected.
I was gonna say one thing is that probably just to like pass the time during mass, Isabel definitely is like modifying the resonance and making sure it's good, and like,
ooh, cool. Yeah.
Like you like, because the church, there are three pianos in town: the tavern, the Catholic church,
the organ.
Correct. Well, I don't know. Would they use
I don't know
an
if
organ?
they would have an organ,
because
pipe organs are really expensive and hard to get.
Yep,
Sure.
And it would be a heck of thing.
This is a prairie town Catholic church,
and we are past the invention of the upright piano. So yeah, and then there's one up at the Enrights.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did the Catholics have one actually?
That's true. They may
No,
not.
the Protestants would have one. The Catholics probably wouldn't.
Yep. But they
have a hell of a choir.
That's probably true. But yeah, tables are wheeled out onto the lawn. People run home to get food and bring it out. The Catholics are released from mass, and then they join in the bringing food together. And yeah, it is something where it was probably the Protestants who started it. And then very quickly, the Catholic families are like, we'll get in on this. Yeah, sure. We'll, and especially because, not to be overly stereotypical, but now we have our food is better. Like, let me bring you something so you can understand. Like, I'll be right back. and so
point of order, if you're talking about the picnic in the graveyard.
No.
Okay.
Because I know you do that occasionally. Or is it every
You're
Sunday?
talking about
every Sunday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You talking about Haitians? You talking about the Maroons bringing over?
Well, because you have to bear in mind, we're talking about we're gonna have some,
everybody. This is like a huge,
and so we're gonna have
cultures.
The Maroons bringing in Haitian style stuff that they've cobbled together from what's actually here.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some Hispanic origin stuff that's literally coming up from Mexico. We're gonna have some of the local indigenous stuff that has come in. And then we're gonna have whatever Europe has brought over. And so it is, like George Washington. Well, I don't know if it'd be George Washington, but the whole melting pot concept is happening here in Purgatory Bluff under this big tree. And perhaps the start of it, or I don't know how it would necessarily work with Theo doing stuff, but doing the picnic. And hell, it may have used to be the picnic, and it then expanded, and then everyone's like, why are we going way over there? Let's be here. And so there's Theo and the weird folks, not necessarily even the mages, but some of the folks who kind of find it amusing, and maybe even some of the elderly people who've been here long enough so their family is out there. You have one of those miners who
I think it probably depends on season stuff too.
Also true.
Definitely closer to Dos Muertos and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, So we have, and it's always Sunday, right? And where it's all set up is somewhere along that stretch between the tavern, the churches, the green, and the graveyard. After service, we have the families, and even the folks who don't have families, because everybody's welcome in. And I'm sure we definitely get a lot of mothers who have adopted some of the single guys who used to work in the mine and now work down at the mill, or still work in the mines. And Valosia is chasing Maria and Lorena. And like we have just that really like idyllic kind of setup. This is one of those moments where, like, back when Warner was still with us, like he just loved it, standing on the like kind of front porch of the tavern and just looking at his people and just being very proud of himself. And Ike has taken to being here because of course he goes to service as well. And so we cut to Jules Lamb standing kind of in the midst of everything. People are eating, people are sitting, and people have been yelling at him to get back up and start reading again. And Jules Lamb is making a big show of, no, I don't need to. You guys really want to hear me do this? Yes, we want to hear. So he stands up and opens his precious, beloved, probably a year or two ago Christmas gift kind of thing, his copy of Idols of the King from Alfred Lord Tennyson, and continues to read. And God help you all, because I'm about to read this and I'm not really prepped for it. Then came a widow crying to the king, "A boon, Sir King! Thy father Uther reft from my dead lord a field with violence. For howsoever at first he proffered gold, yet for the field was pleasant in our eyes, we yielded not. And then he reft us, that was Jules, not me. And then reft us of it perforce, and left us neither gold nor field." And there's some boomerangs amongst everybody as everyone's like, somebody translate for that. What did he say? And Jules kind of pauses for a second. "Said Arthur, whether would ye gold or field?" To whom the woman weeping, "Nay, my lord, the field was pleasant in my husband's eye." And Arthur, "Have thy pleasant field again, and thrice the gold for Uther's use thereof, according to the years. No boon is here, but justice, so thy say be proven true. Accursed, who from wrongs his father did, would shape himself aright." And then he quickly closes the book, makes one look over at Ike, sits back down, and quickly starts eating. Well, later. And there's more discussion and some folks going, "What was that? What happened? Arthur gave a field back to somebody because his dad took it from him and then paid him? Oh, that's yeah, what a good king." And then like there's this long delay before people are like, "Oh, okay, Arthur was cool. Yeah, we like King Arthur. Yeah, okay, yeah, he did a cool thing." The things you find during prep.
Isabel just leans over and it's like, that's that specific passage today, huh?
It was the next one in line. I'm just saying that, like, I'm just reading them as they're written.
And you felt it particularly your best choice to be looking directly at Ike while reading it?
I was scanning the audience.
Okay.
And you can see, like, he knows what he did. And he's really, really nervous about it, but he's kind of proud of himself. You know, because, you know, there have been problems with Ike, and there has been realizations of Ike and the Enrights and how they may not actually have a claim to this land. Like I said, the things you find in prep. And so yeah,
she just tries to do that sort of speaking, but basically tries to say, like, talk shit, get hit.
He's like, I know, that's why I have this strong wife who is also the sheriff. It's like, we can talk about it later. Let's eat. I'm hungry. Maria, stop pulling your sister's hair. You know, and it's, you know, and this is one of those, you know, the whole Purgatory Bluff is here as a family. You know, there's some folks who may not go to service, that still kind of slowly drift in. They have that I'm, you know, guilted, but I still want to be here and be part of the community, that kind of stuff. And this is also when we have, like, it hasn't happened today, but, you know, like, when marriages are announced, it's usually at this kind of situation. Yeah. If, you know,
public proposals and stuff like that. Right.
You know, or somebody says, hey, you know, I'm leaving the house, you know, my parents' house, and I'm going to go, you know, start a farm over here. You know, and a lot of that, the town networking, which a lot of it does still happen at night in the tavern, but that's a very, like, pointed socializing, whereas this is that networking that you get. You know, some of the mothers show up and they have clothes that their kids have outgrown, and there's, like, a whole, like, table that's just laden down with clothes, and mothers are exchanging and talking and trying to, you know, this, that, and the other, and that kind of stuff. A thing that Gisela was probably very in on, because like, fixing up, adjusting clothes, that was kind of in her wheelhouse. So the day passes. The mundane aspects of the Sunday morning into afternoon moves into evening, and the mages go to work. Jules and Isabel put their kids to sleep, and I would imagine it's pretty regular for, you know, Valosia to be asked to come spend the night for nights like this, perhaps. If Isabel and Jules are going to be up to stuff through the evening, right? So there's somebody at home. I don't know. That was just imagining in my head. What does Chris think?
Yeah, I mean, that seems like an interesting thing to do.
Yeah, just mostly because
go to the Stokes homestead.
That's the
kids go.
Except
Catherine's there.
Oh, that's true. Catherine's there. Yeah. So yeah. That is a quick little. Just for me, I'm just trying to figure out, you know, what is home life like for married mages with, you know, kids. And so, you know, it's like,
I feel like that would increase Catherine's sort of water boiling point of every time her wife has to go disappear and do something, I also have to take care of two small children.
Okay,
right.
That's a good
so
point.
I mean, there's lots of I mean, there's things of
and so and you know, and there's other folks too, but that's kind of my question of how does the Coven treat this? And because that could be the thing, is like, oh no, we never ask Fallowsia, you know, because we don't want to cross the streams too much, the mundane and the magical. You know, is it, you know, one of the other family members? Because, you know,
I have a suggestion. I wouldn't be surprised if Isabel's got pretty close with one of her deputies,
Mm-hmm.
and perhaps the deputy has become a family friend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so then asked
That's a
the
really good
deputy,
one.
because that's like a really safe person in town to
Mhm.
be there.
That's
But
a really
of course,
good idea.
I leave that to Chris. It just occurred to me.
Yeah,
that-
no, that actually is. I was starting to think along those lines.
Because the town
Yeah,
is
'cause
more
I-
than y'all, so yeah, there's definitely other
Yeah, yeah.
people. But yeah, I like that. It's like,
Um,
deputy, guess what you're doing tonight? Babysitting?
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, exactly.
It's real tough playing with a pair of rambunctious kids and wearing them out so they go to sleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
real tough job, boss.
I'm having trouble finding my notes. I'm trying to see if I type
Oh, their names?
their names.
I think I might have that. Do-do-do-do-do. Dominique Sanfleur and a Bartolome cousin who has gone unnamed currently.
I feel like, especially if Dominique has gotten married,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume there's at least several marriages among the Maroons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
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 And I was gonna say, I think he's likely to be like at least partially in on the like mystery cult.
Mm-hmm.
Of like the Coven mystery cult.
Right.
Yeah.
Having had experience
good.
formerly, like definitely not a sleepwalker or anything, but
Yeah.
like just like some knowing things to be like, because I feel like Isabel's got to have somebody in her corner
Yes.
for sheriff stuff when
Yes,
things are
absolutely.
weird, right? You
Yes.
can't just
Yeah.
You need somebody to assist your Clark Kent,
Mhm.
Peter Parker scenarios.
And so like that would probably, like, when that discussion originally came up of who to recruit as a deputy, it definitely was like going to Cloak and being like, I need one of your people
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that can work with me, and like for this whole list of reasons why it's a good idea.
So when you say it like that, sure, yeah. And because there's going to be some Maroons who are tired of mining, and the idea of, okay, we're not mining anymore, instead we're going to go work fields, and somebody is like, there's got to be another option.
There's got to be another choice.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, so
great.
Isabel and Jules, check in deputy's got them. Dominique has them. And do you guys just like go swing by Max's and knock on the door? Excuse me, Helena's. Or is that like arranged?
Yeah, I would have caught her at the end of Sunday. Like, we're going to be changing hats tonight.
That's good.
If you'd care to join.
Love the image of removing the cowboy hat and putting on a tall pointy hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a tall pointy cowboy hat, actually.
Yep. Straight out of the art. Also, shout out to Brenna again for amazing art.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where do you guys do the summoning? Because we know that like the mines are prepared in a couple different places. Legba has probably turned that place into a warren of specially assigned chambers, some of which are not only dark in the mine but magically hidden. But then there's also the Hallow itself.
Yeah, totally. You probably want to do it in a domain, right?
Yeah, I think it would take a little bit of time, and it would be a quick flight out to the prairie land, and then
awesome.
Like just making it so that everyone is banned.
Yeah,
like a repel life situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Right? I feel like that's something I could definitely do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just people naturally just kind of avoid the area. Just veer away from it. It's just, that doesn't seem the right way. It feels uncomfortable. Yeah. Especially if you're on the prairie.
One of the example spells is like draw certain types of life creatures near to you, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
They're just like,
the rivers.
Humans go away.
Get away from your peoples.
And then making a domain space.
Okay.
With the gun. And I think it's just like planting the gun like a seed.
Oh, cool. That's an awesome.
A big, like mound of fresh dirt, and burying it to grow into a domain.
Yeah, wrap it up in the oilcloth. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I because even that feels like very ritualistic. Of like, here's this gun, this my dedicated magical tool that I use, and I'm gonna close this up and put it away.
But also like iron from the earth returned to it.
Ooh,
yeah. There's a lot of.
Meanwhile, Jules is like, I don't know why you asked me to come help with this. Like, you got this. So yeah, real quick, I actually should go roll that. And while I'm doing that, has Helena seen fiercest beasts?
She definitely hasn't seen this one, but probably.
Cool. So that is the roll from Jules for occult. Every 2 successes reduces it by 1. So we had calculated 13. So we're down now to 11.
Seems doable.
I think we can do that.
Okay. It's just Gnosis plus Arcana, right?
Mm-hmm. You
can get the bonus for the domain too.
Not for summoning, because it just reduces number of successes you need.
I think you get a bonus to the die roll as well. I think you get +2 for being in a domain and -3 successes.
Verges and domains both provide a +2 die bonus to summon supernal entities from the realms they are connected to.
Oh,
yep.
Well,
you get +2 dice and -3 successes.
I was looking at the summoning section.
That's what I realized. You had done the same thing. 243. Basically, the last paragraph for verges and domains. Sure. It's like,
cool.
Yeah.
All right. You said 3 or 2?
+2
is
+2
on your die bonus, and then it's the -3 from successes, which would be calculated.
All right. So Gnosis Spirit +2 and a willpower. Great. +5 all day.
4?
4 successes. And 7 will do it.
Yeah.
Since you're there looking, how many is it? An hour per roll?
It's an hour per roll.
Yeah. Plus the hand wave, not going to worry about it. Domain.
Plus time to get out there, plus an hour for the domain.
So
it's fully like 3 a.m.
Yeah, maybe 2. Because sunsets is when everything's sundown. But yeah, I like that. And yes, here comes Strides. What's the full name? I'm gonna give him his full name before we shorten it again.
You just said it the other day.
I know it's kicking my butt. The one who strides the sky and walks among the clouds emerges from the nothingness. For you, they. I think he actually goes with he. Just was already standing there in active mage sight and is just like, you're gonna do the thing. Cool.
He's just like laying down with a paw right on top of the gun.
Yep. For Helena, here is this massive, beast of a dog, a wolf. Though there's lightning in his eyes.
Fur shaped like thunderclouds and.
Yep. Jules does a not stiff and not even like sarcastic bow. Very, very British aristocrat attempt at it, because I mean, this thing is a spirit forces being, and that's right up Jules's mundane alley. But the two of them have seen each other, before. You are obviously very familiar to Strider, and the head just kind of, I like the idea of him being comfortable and just laying there, and just kind of the slow head look over to Helena, and then you get, the doggy head tilt, and looks over to Isabel, Petrichor.
Hello, old friend.
Hello. Who is this one?
May I introduce you to Helena?
Helena.
And she just politely nods her head and pleasure to meet you.
Not Helena. Not really. And
she has gone by other names before, yes.
It's as real as any other.
Right now. Time dog!
Motherfucking time dog.
And, looks over to Petrichor, and has that, like, you've called me here, across, so obviously there's something you want. And the doggy grin is there, and I think even before you ask or say anything, right, says, I am so glad to be back here.
Yeah.
The time away from you was less eventful than, like, looks out at the plains, right, than other places I've been.
I would know of them perhaps another time.
I think so. So far.
He does this. I have a favor to request.
Yes.
There is a man injured and broken and yet still alive, with his timeline destroyed.
Like that gets a, I don't know. Well, yeah, I think he gives a growl. He's like, I'm not okay with that. What?
The scent of other mages' work lies upon him and those who we liberated from their bonds.
And what is it you ask of me then?
Knowledge to know what has happened. Or a way to find it.
Fetch me a lightning bolt. And that, for Chris's sake, Petrichor recognizes it probably a pretty tried and true trial that you've done with Strider before.
Sure. Does it have to be from scratch, or is store-bought okay?
I think, like, there's this, like, kind of lazy, like, it's the doggy grin, and, like, looks at your other revolver. Wait, actually, which one is Alphoth in your dedicated magical tool?
No.
Okay, yeah.
No.
So yeah,
specifically not.
Yeah, and then looks over at your other gun, and then just back to you. Yeah, and just this for everybody back at Purgatory Bluff looks over. Did you all see that too?
It's heat lightning.
Yeah.
Well, and notably because I know Sheriff Isabel's going to hear about it, because Sheriff hears about everything eventually. But yeah, it's that weird lightning that goes down to up. And it's like, I swear I went, the lightning doesn't do that. I'm telling you what I saw. But yeah, heat lightning. Also, Alphoth and Spirit and Essence. So we don't actually care about Paradox. And nods and says, yeah, okay. Strider kind of rolls and like it is legit. Like if this were a real dog, this would be asking for tummies. This is, like now Petrichor and Jules know, nuh-uh. Helena, I need you to roll to resist. No. Forbidden tummy scratches. But
no,
yeah,
if it was a cat that strode through the storm, that
would. But yeah, and like it kind of lays his back, and it's like it's puppy deep thoughts, right? And then simply says, the timeline is not destroyed. He is separated from it. If you wish to see it, simply go back to when it was still attached to him.
How?
Yeah.
More out of character wise, it's the man doesn't have temporal sympathy to anything prior, and like that's a clear cutting point. But if you go back to the past, he's still back there, and you can follow his story forward is more of what he's saying. Not necessarily super useful, unless you guys want to shadow him to see what happens. But
I remember this from Doctor Who. We can go back, but we have to make sure we don't interact with ourselves.
Unfortunately, the way time magic works, not actually a problem, but it's
You're
out
in your
of,
own body, yeah.
Right. And it's out of Isabel's reach currently.
Yeah.
And then he kind of rolls to the side and then says, I'm trying to figure out how he would put this. There are greater beings than I who may restore that connection again. But it would be much more than fetching lightning.
Certainly.
And may have consequences for your man.
I see.
Can I talk to Isabel and not the dog? I just don't want him to think I am asking him questions.
Yeah. If you ask, he'll be like, all right, here's your trial.
Yeah, I'm like,
I guess technically you've got forces, you could pull it off too.
I mean, yeah, I was going to do a create weather because I can do it really quickly.
Yeah, but no, I mean, he's a smart doggy.
I mean, I'll make the storm for you and you can call the lightning.
I mean, we have the same forces levels. But yeah, is there a way? Do you think he could give us information on who did the severing?
Is there any more you'd inform me of?
Kind of rolls completely onto his back and says, fetch me the southern wind. Or for Chris's explanation, I need a cold breeze.
On the south of his body.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, I can just do
Make the wind.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Yep. Just a Gnosis plus forces kind of, can you do this real quick? Not even worried about drawing up a full spell.
3 successes.
3 successes, yeah. Really cool, especially compared to the kind of warm, summer air, and this just biting cold wind just washes through just real quick. And says, yes, I know and can see the marks of the one who has done this, and gives you the signature nimbus. And I feel like you experience it as if they were like the nimbus tilt, and then all the way into the signature nimbus.
So how do you feel about that?
It really is one of those things I didn't write down and didn't get to. But fair. It is a yet again another nimbus. So I think you are now to 4 mages who have worked on this guy.
Yeah. Okay. So the person who altered the memories and did the messing around on his leg.
2 different people.
Yeah. We have. What all did we?
The memory.
Figure out?
The memory. His.
The memory. The timeline. The leg.
So okay, maybe just 3 mages then. Yeah. May have to consult prior episode again, but yes, I will double check. But yeah, there have been a couple, and hopefully next week I'll actually have
specifically the time is different than the memories
and the leg. Yeah. So you have several mages working in concert to do this.
Yeah, because I specifically had seen the life, whatever was keeping his leg from being fucked.
Yep.
Barley is being adorable behind you. Just
it's the time dog.
It's the time dog.
He's making a nest.
Yeah, he's a sweet baby. He's gotta get comfy,
just like Strider. But yeah,
the best part is if you look at him while he's doing that, he just freezes. Like
he gets self-conscious. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just a general vibe. Are these
they don't feel very pleasant.
They don't feel great. Yeah.
No,
okay.
No, this,
to be expected of whatever mage has just done.
The people who would do this
things.
Right. Never mind the fact that you all have a bit of meta knowledge of what's going on anyways, in terms of like, hey, seers are up to some shit. But yeah, this is like, he's got that tyranny feel that's just not great. Yeah. I think even Strider the Time Dog goes, this is, it smacks of the usurpers.
Base Time Dog doesn't work for the XX.
Trust me, the thought had been there considering Isabel's past or family connections.
I mean, it would have been totally fine.
Yep, but I was like, it feels like a hat on hat.
I don't know.
It was really fun when Ruin came to visit Weird. It's like, wait, hang on, who do you work for? Oh. But no, not if you bought the Supernal Watcher Merit. That was.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm more okay with that and that sort of thing in this Chronicle than in the Rookery, where we were actively working for the Diamond and stuff, right?
That's true.
It wasn't like truly the enemy. It was just like, yeah, we're just like not totally down with what they're doing, right?
True. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think he says, the touch of usurpers on that signature nimbus.
Great.
Which I think actually Helena would go, excuse me, what? Kind of giving you the hint of prelacy, which Helena knows about for sure. The others may not.
Sorry, what?
I didn't say anything. Or was that Chris asking for real?
That's
asking about prelacy.
Yeah. That's me possibly noticing you having a reaction to something.
I think we need to go to wherever that man came from and be prepared for a fight. And we should go as soon as possible.
Helena has some old adamantine arrow vibes, just like, yeah, you know, it is time to kick some fascist ass.
Yep. I mean, that's what she thought.
I was already leaning that way, so
no, like as soon as you brought this guy and we looked at him, we saw that all that was up there. She's like, okay, cool, let's go to Mississippi or wherever. Like, okay, you want to do other things? Okay, well, we'll do this. We'll talk to the dog, and then we're going.
I love Ash cosplaying as Chris.
Okay, are we done dicking around now? Can we now go and do what we're going to do right from the start anyway?
Did we ask enough questions? Can I now punch?
I mean, with her skills and her stats, it's what she does.
Great. I love that for you. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think in this moment there's many, like, there is probably a scene, like there is probably more to the scene, but not to be shown here, right?
Yeah, especially
while he's here, like, you know, checking in on like my report card. Do I have a gold star in Storm yet? Or whatever.
Yeah. Well, which I think actually is a really good kind of like zoom out, you know, fade away kind of moment, is we have Jules sitting cross-legged on the ground with notepad, trying to get moonlight enough so he can make some like sketches and you know, writing some of the stuff down.
I would just walk over and give him a light. just like a hand out, have a little fire.
Like looks up, it's like gesturing at Isabel, like, why have you never done this for me?
I can't.
Yeah, no, I like that. And yeah, the question, and you know, Strider, you know, says, well, I'm back here again, aren't I? As we kind of zoom out, and kind of, you know, screen fades, and we cut over to Legba and Baba Sera, I think, because I don't think you guys are cruising around as Cloak and Theo right now.
None of it's work done.
Right.
Hanging out. We're just walking to people's houses. You need some help? We're ready to put on the witch's head. No, we're still our mundane personas. Walking around. That's what's happening.
Do you guys go and check with Jeremiah? And is that kind of the, like, and check in with folks, see if there's any, you know, bat signals, as Craig put it the other day. I was like, yes, bat signals. It works both as a, you know, pop culture reference, but also witches.
Yeah, I think we were looking to poke around in his head to see if there was some clues there we might be able to pick up.
Okay. Yeah. What's that scene look like? Let's say you guys have already gone and picked him up, or visiting him at wherever he's resting with Les Enfants.
Prepared to let you do the driving on that one.
Okay, sure. Happy to do that. So
I do think Baba Sera is like she's Baba Sera,
right?
When she comes.
Cool, great. Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. I think Legba, well, Ungan Cloak would have informed Mambo Etoile earlier in the day that Legba would be visiting Jeremiah in the evening. And so then they would know that was going to happen. And so yeah, Legba would probably come and pick up Baba Sera on the way. Like, I imagine that she's, you know, it discusses it, that she's walking away from the homestead. He comes and meets her to walk up to.
At the crossroads, obviously.
They're on the fields. Oh, no, yeah. So Legba's walking from the town side of the river. to meet to connect with Baba Sera as she's going to where the Maroons are now living, because they're on the south side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, great. To visit Jeremiah. I think. Let's see. This is what he'd say as they're walking. He'd say, "I've given this some thought, and I would like to take him to a space that might make it perhaps not safer, but more illuminating."
For him or us?
Yes.
Yeah, he would say, all of us, which is all the same.
Okay.
When a light shines, all can see it unless they cover their eyes. So,
well, I appreciate the sentiment. That hasn't necessarily been my experience, but but your point is well.
He says, well, then perhaps tonight you can allow us all to see your light.
All right.
This will make more sense when we arrive.
Okay.
So
I'm a mage. I have to be a little bit mysterious.
Exactly. Can you just tell me what spell you cast? Tell me factors and everything like that. Just like you wrote it down, right? Nope. So they arrive and engage Mambo Etoile and go to Jeremiah's room. And I think they would visit, and Legba would say to him, he would address him as Elder. He would say, Elder, have you found your rest revitalizing?
Can I, just for context, do we interact with any of the Les Enfants on our way to see him?
No.
Okay. They've been cleared out?
Yeah. They know that. Okay. Like, I think that the way this kind of works is you can request the assistance of Papa Legba, and because the Mambo or the Ungan is the intermediary who first calls Legba, right, in any kind of voodoo practice, right? It is through the intercession of the Mambo or the Ungan that you meet with them. So if, they know Legba's coming to visit Jeremiah, it's not for them to interact with Legba as he comes. And so because of that, like, and whoever Legba brings with you. So that'd be like the, the social and religious aspect of it. I think it'd be like people are elsewhere. So if it's not in advance, then it's like, who knows, right? They're just going to be around. But because he said that, then nobody's there. And that might be weird to Jeremiah too,
Yeah, for Jeremiah, Mambo Etoile shows up, and it's very pleasant meeting everybody, and then they all file out, and he's left with this woman that he has known for a day, and she's saying, "Oh, don't worry, help is coming," and he's like,
You're going to get a visitor.
Right. Yeah, like I thought I've already been helped. My leg is already feeling
when the clock strikes 12. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
with chains. Well, chains rattling. That's a whole other concept here. But
that's right.
Yeah, and he's he's still laid out. He's got his leg wrapped, and there's splints, and there's some of it that is ornamental, really, because like magic is doing its work, right?
Yes.
But we have to put the effort in to dress it up, literally, to kind of hide some of it. And there's a lot of effort of don't put any weight on it, don't walk on it, just let it heal, kind of thing. So there's no realization of, wow, this is already way better than I thought, kind of thing.
Totally.
And it's been a day, so it's still pretty damaged and stuff like that. But looking up at, Papa Legba, who, is towering in height, and then, oh, the crone lady who helped us escape. Great. You're here too. But like at this point, those two features and, the Calavera woman, and actually that's true. Did Max go on this last expedition? Okay.
No.
Okay.
She saw them pulling them out when she was on her rounds.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, she was there for the river fight.
Well, because and so that's a quick clarification we need to make, because that was that first event.
Subsequent one.
This is the second.
Yeah, when you pulled out the guy with the broken leg.
Right.
Yeah. Not the one who was dragged underwater. Right. That was two different rescue attempts. So just to clarify. And
Helena could have come because she would have seen us coming through the portal when we were fighting in the river spirit. We just glossed over the whole teleportation with the second one.
Yep.
No, we went through. I wasn't there for that. I basically saw you guys coming out at the end with the injured guy, and went to go see what the hubbub was about.
Yeah, because everyone's like, "Wait, what is up with this?" Like, yep. That's right.
And just for atmosphere, like as we come in, like Theo doesn't intend to do this. She just kind of lurks, sort of.
It's the shadow name.
That's what I was hoping.
It just kind of happens. She's not intentionally doing it. It just kind of happens.
That's what
the shadow name. It's Baba Sera. Yeah. So yeah, he looks and recognizes. Okay, 2 of 3.
An Olympic class lurker.
Yeah.
The Calavera lady not here. Okay, but Legba is here, and Mambo Etoile is here, and because Mambo is going to stay, right, and not just leave. And the rest has been very, very well. Thank you. Yes. I guess he would say we have been very well cared for, and we feel much better now, because I'm sure it's not just him alone, in this space. We probably have bunk beds set up and, some comfortable space, but they're all in groups where they can be, because you don't want to suddenly isolate them all.
No.
So, yeah. But yeah, he kind of stirring, and like he very clearly doesn't want to be laying down with the two of you, like who've come in, especially with Papa Legba, who's towering. It's like, okay, let me.
Everyone is looming,
right?
That's
and
right.
Mambo, comes over, and Mambo Etoile comes and like kneels, beside him, and the gentle shoulder, back down. It's like, no, you were safe, you were fine, you're not disrespecting anyone. It's okay. We're here to care for you.
I am pleased that you find your deliverance and accommodations to your liking and to your health. I and my friend are here to help you find something you lack. Much has been taken from you in your time where you were. And if we cannot restore it, perhaps we can find the remnants of it that allow us all to understand it. And then he like pauses again, like mysterious speech without any explanation or context.
Yep. And yeah, Jeremiah is kind of just, I don't know that I'm missing anything.
We become aware that things were done to you. And we mean to find out what and why.
And like he
fix them if we can.
He is deep in the mundane world. He's like, lots of things were done to me. We're good. I'm out of there. Like the idea that there's a supernatural aspect to this is just completely lost on him. He's like, whoa, I don't need anything. I think even goes so far as scars are scars, wounds heal. Like I am away. I wouldn't ask for anything more. I'm already in your debt.
Says, that is why what we aim to do is give you a gift. And gifts come with no expectation of recompense. However, you said what is most important on this night, which is you said that you do not believe you have lost anything. You do not perceive any loss. And that is the nature of true loss, that you do not remember possessing that which is gone. And then Legba turns to Mambo Etoile and says, Mambo, as the guardian of this man, do I have your permission to take him into the mines to find that which he has truly lost
and like Mambo Etoile is like, hang on, I didn't think that's necessarily what the minds are. And I'm sure at this point, like, she's well aware there's things in there. She doesn't know them all, but you know, and she's like,
didn't she almost die in there?
She did, but she doesn't know.
Technically in the other mine, because they use the collapse section of the other mine. But yes, she probably actually doesn't have super great vibes about the mines these days, even though she went in there willingly. It's like that's still a still heavy memory for her. But
she doesn't really remember. Legba put her into a dream time such that, or dream experience such that she wasn't, so she could recuperate. Because we had this whole choice of like, all right, he could not intervene, which might be wise in a way, right? Or he could let this person die and renege on a really important moral responsibility to a protege, right? Like, he has to do it. So that's what we chose. And then, so how we managed it to avoid the paradox of the healing and stuff that Petrichor provided was we put her into a lengthy dream so that she could go through the trial in her mind,
right, and
still have the experience of succeeding without having like the rocks fall on her and all that.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, she's like, okay, I will fetch a stretcher.
More importantly to me, Jeremiah, we are trying to understand what happened to you in order that we can prevent it from happening to others. If you allow us to do this investigation, it would help a lot more than just you.
Like, that definitely catches him, right? He's like, oh, like a sacrifice to help others for whatever I've gone through. And, you know, quick question. What's Baba Sera's voice like?
It's thin and reedy.
Okay, I was wondering, because I was going to say, like, I wonder if there's like that outward appearance, but there's that, you know, that well, and, you know, not that it's not a strong voice, right? But I was like, do you have like, you know, maternal mom voice, or is it, you know, grandmotherly kind of voice?
Yeah, you know? Grandmotherly, sort of raspy kind of. Craig can't do the voice, but that's if you can picture it in your head.
Yep. Okay.
So if you allow us
chalk dust every night to get prepared for my looking.
If you let us do this investigation, there's maybe able to help. That's not very good.
No, I'm here for it. And he's like,
loving it.
Like, it's like, clearly these are the good guys, but yeah, the idea of preventing whatever has happened to him, which he's still kind of unsure about, but you're also the people who literally took him out of bondage. It's like, okay, you know what? All right, if this will prevent things happening to other people, I'm on board. It won't hurt, will it? Because
no.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. And so Mambo Etoile goes and gets, you know, a stretcher. You guys probably have a couple of them, and help you. I think she would probably be she and Papa Legba carrying, and stuff like that. And do you walk
once you get to that high in the mystery cult? Remember, like, all the people who rise up there are tough. So Miss CJ and Sanite are real strong.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Theo has an image to maintain, so she's got the lantern lit. And
oh yes.
Do you guys walk through, especially with the blue lantern, all right up through into the mines?
Yeah.
Love it. Yep.
Not going to teleport. Definitely walking.
Yeah. So yeah, there's the little switching of curtains that, you know, are seen. You know, people. Oh, there's a what's that light outside? Oh, it's a blue light. We're good. Never mind. Whatever's happening out there doesn't matter to us. It's
as they're walking,
I didn't see no light.
Baba Sera's going to lean over to Legba, and it occurs to me that you and I may not be the best spokespeople for these sorts of. I think we're a little off-putting.
Papa Legba is great for this. It's just the situation of standing tall while this guy is laid down. Right. But normally, Papa Legba's the great elocutioner.
Yep. He says, he says, returning to the concept of enlightenment, our assumptions about what appearance suggests about a person's intent is just one of the many veils that we often intentionally hold over our eyes.
Well said.
Yeah. So you guys carry Jeremiah through the town. You know, dark. You know, it's about the same time. You know, probably have some lightning flash out in the sky. You know, up to down or down to up, and it's like
she's out of
Petrichor's out there. And I'm sure, like, you guys don't like keep tabs on each other, but it's like, hey, I'm gonna do some witchy stuff, just so you know, because that peripheral mage sight goes off, and you go, oh, that was scheduled. We're good. Nothing to worry about. It's the unscheduled stuff.
We talked about a telepathic group text at one point if we wanted that, right? Just like short messages, so we didn't have to constantly be like in each other's heads. We could be like, hey, guess what?
Oh, sorry, that was me. That was me.
Yeah. Hey, I left the kettle on the stove. Can somebody go over there and turn it off?
It's like, all right. Like, well, you can teleport. Like, you can go do yourself. I like that. Exactly. But yeah, carrying it through town, and like out in the fields, out in the farms and stuff like that, you have all the houses, kind of separate and stuff like that. And, the spooky blue light moving through the fields and stuff like that is not, unusual. And especially you're so close to the river, even you probably get some of that good fog and stuff like that. Cool. I mean, this is the thing where, like, the visitors who come through and some of the merchants and stuff like that who are staying in the tavern, they look out the window. They're like, wow, this is a really cool view of the river here. All the fog. What's that blue light? Yeah, Purgatory Bluff's haunted. Yep. It's haunted. Lightning shoots down to up. There's spooky blue lights in the mists. And now, the stretcher, which, the tavern, it's not a raucous place late into the evening, but, it is frequently open till, midnight or later. As the town has grown more, Madame Robert has, more help and stuff like that. She doesn't have to be the one up until 2 a.m. But yeah, so, there's some folks who, like, I think in my head, I've got, like, that there's the orange comfortable glow of light coming out from the tavern, right? And there's probably one or two people sitting outside enjoying the breeze. And then the blue light, like, we can't even see Baba Sera and Papa Legba, but the blue light is coming up towards the green. And all of a sudden it's like, all right, we're going inside. Going inside. Shut the door. Shut the shutters. And, some of the, the regulars, the locals, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like, and some of the, and we hear through the windows, through, some commotion. What's going on? What's got you all riled up? That kind of stuff. Nothing. Don't go out there. What are you talking about? It's fine. Go away in a second. Thunder, rumbles through the air.
I love the idea of as like a newcomer checking in and that. Okay, so here's your key. Breakfast is at 10. Don't ask about the blue light. Enjoy your stay.
Yep. And
if you see a light outside your window at night, close your curtains. Don't think about it.
Yep. It's like that's not for you. Like, and the locals, they're not scared of it, but it's a privacy thing, because enough of them at this point over a decade, the blue light, the setting the lights out for people. Some nights a woman in a calavera comes and prays over your wounded child, sick child. And I imagine Petrichor doesn't even talk to the folks. She just shows up.
No, I mean, she's probably very quiet all the time.
Yep. She just kind of shows up. It's like, yep.
Well, because remember, like, the back half of Petrichor's shadow name is the calm before the storm.
Yep.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. And I've always liked this dichotomy that just like, no, calm, cool, quiet, not a big deal. And then everything happens, right? And those are the two. And yeah, Calavera woman shows up, prays over your child, and then God's going to heal her. It's going to happen. Properly couch it, maybe dodge the dissonance, dodge the quiescence, doesn't work every time, but and so you have these little stories that everybody knows, like, you don't talk about it, not openly, it's it's an open secret kind of thing.
I feel like Calavera might get justified as like a saint. She'll come and visit you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, Papa Legba and even Baba Sera
single-handedly combating the legend of La Llorona.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, indeed, definitely. Because you got to believe there's lots of people in town growing up with that.
I mean, with the river.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Oh my God. Yeah.
And even Baba Sera,
and she's a wife. Oh my gosh, yes, and also she could. Oh yes, Isabel could be La Llorona. That's true. Yeah.
Go ahead and explain for the audience.
It's a myth, folklore, sort of the cryptid.
Yeah.
Amongst. Like, actually, like, I think a priest wrote about it in like 1840. I actually did look this up because I was like almost went with that as a shadow name for a completely different vibe.
Yeah, totally.
But it's a folklore story about a woman who lost her kids drowning in the river, and threw herself into the river, and then comes out and tries to replace her lost children by taking others.
Pre-Hispanic.
So it's
1550.
Yeah.
They're trying to claim other children.
I mean, maybe. But like, in like a lot of Hispanic households, it's like the boogeyman, like spoken of like in the same sort of way of like, if you don't clean your room, La Llorona's gonna come steal you.
Don't play around the river at night.
Yep. The Wailing Woman, by the way, for those wanting the English translation, or the Crier, I guess.
It's like crying.
Yep. But doesn't have a Calavera traditionally. Anyways, sorry, we got on a lovely little tangent. Love backstory stuff. So the three of you, well, four of you, I guess, I guess Mambo Etoile would still go because Mambo Etoile is probably walking along, and carrying probably towards Jeremiah's head, and like, saying, it's okay, don't worry about it, we're here, like, you're safe. Nobody looks out the windows when we walk through town. You guys go up the hill, up towards the quarry, into the mines, and down into one of the prepared ritual spaces. And Mambo Etoile like walks into the space, sets Jeremiah down, pats his shoulder, and says, "I will be just outside. Don't worry. No harm will come to you. You are safe here." As you kind of draws away, not in any like particular "I'm scared" haste, but these rooms do things, and it's very easy for somebody to get lost and find weird things. And who's going to spend the mana? Well, I guess Legba is going to probably spend the mana to activate the imbued room.
Well, we can, and he's going to, considering what he said to Baba Sera, I guess, yield.
Yep.
Demonic dominance to her.
Yeah.
So, we enter the room. Mambo Etoile steps out. Legba walks over to the wall, and as he approaches it, a plinth seems more prominent. And he says, "Baba Sera, please come. I wish to show you something."
Walks over.
We're going to pause there just a sec. As our transition.
That's perfect.
Yep. Because for those at home, the two of them are the ones I'm not super prepared for. excuse me, sorry. We cut to the time with the time dog was he had a couple hours prep, I think.
He had 2 free extra hours.
Okay. So yeah. So nearing the end of the 2 hours, and I think we start to see Strider looking more anxious and like doing the puppy walk of, like
he's gotta go outside.
Yeah, you gotta go outside. Yeah, it's pretty, and more specifically, and because I love the book even points out that like supernal beings know when their time is coming up, and so and kind of returns to that safe place, and like sits, the proper, school pitcher kind of sit and looks and says, kind of as the conversation is winding down. Actually, I guess that is a good point. In the intervening time, have you guys thought of any other questions or discussion points that you guys may have brought up? I should have
I was hoping it could give us some more information on the mages who had done this. Like, if you can tell us they're there and show us their nimbus, can you tell me, like, path, how strong they are? Like...
That is outside of my purview.
Spirit forces and time.
Spirit forces and time.
To that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, need that prime.
Need prime.
Yeah, and I think he looks right at you, looks right through you, and says, "Why are you asking me that? Like, it almost feels rude." Big puppy grin, right? Like, yeah.
I love that me just calling him the time dog because I forgot his name has just like single-handedly turned him into an actual dog instead of a big scary wolf.
In my opinion, it is one of those things that like he's just kind of feeding off that energy. Go back to Songbird summoning, Viking badasses. It's the same kind of thing. And he is your supernal watcher, and there's some connection there. So
I feel like after having been with you for more than 10 years at this point, he probably is kind of your buddy when you summon him up, right?
Yeah.
He lost his big scary wolf persona a while ago.
Oh, it's still there.
Oh yeah, for
it's
sure.
It's just not shown. Yeah. But I think sorry. Did you have anything else, Chris?
I don't think so.
Okay, just double checking. So he kind of resumes that, proper poise and nods to, Petrichor, not Helena, Mr. Lamb. And then just is gone. For
Petrichor just says, "You'll see me around."
And Jules and Helena just see him disappear. Petrichor, he is just there, and then he tears off like, and it would be cute to call it zoomies, but this is lightning let out of the cage, right? Just this exertion of energy, and it was like, oh yeah, that's right, the big, strong, powerful being who sat still for a little bit to talk with me, kind of thing. And like, even through the mage site, you kind of feel and smell that ozone off of lightning and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, that's a good boy. Jules, kind of closes his little sketchbook and kind of, gathers up some things. Cause I imagine like, come out, he like, we're coming out here. He's like, I got a blanket to sit on. Like, I'm going to do this cozy. Like there's the ritual circle and I don't put it in there, but like over here, I'm going to sit and be cozy and comfortable. And especially because for all he knows, you guys might fly off on an adventure and he's just stuck here for a bit. You guys go through the gauntlet. He's like,
it's been known to happen.
Right. Like I'm not crossing the gauntlet. I summoned that stuff over this side. I don't need to go over there. I think he's probably been once, right? And he was like, wow, this is really cool. Can we go back now?
And absolutely horrible. Let's leave.
Yep. There's some beautiful things.
Don't you want to go see the queen?
Yeah. He's like, nah, you described her once. Nah. And so the three of you can, kind of pack up, kind of kick the sticks and stones out. And so it's not a super obvious place. and fly your way back home. Okay.
I mentioned I would do like just a little bit of like prime muddling of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a spell for that.
Cleanse the pattern.
Lines, something like that. Yeah.
Cleanse the pattern or something like that is for removing like signature.
Yeah, basically just sort of scrubbing it to make it look so that anyone who walks around won't know that this is where we summoned a Supernal.
Yep. Is it Supernal summonings, I think, leave signature nimbus too, or there's something similar. Yeah, I like that. It's just we're gonna clean up and put things away. And you guys head back, return to your places. Jules cuddles up with his bloody rock.
Yes.
Yep. And as you are making your way back down, I guess it's true. Do you guys fly back or like fly to the outskirts of town and walk back in, or?
Yeah, it wouldn't fly within like sight of the town.
Okay. So yeah, I think you guys walk by and can see the mines. There's just a little, like it's deep into the mine, but there's that little blue glow. And you're like, okay, found out where the other two went. As you guys return back, Jules sets out the book up on his little shelf of stuff that's out of reach of younger hands. The deputy goes home. Again, the rock cuddling. And Helena heads back to her home.
Yep, she just heads on home. And starts getting ready for a fight.
It's like, it might not be tonight, but yep, I like that.
I mean, honestly, she wants to get going because whoever did this to this man is probably not happy that all of these people are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you've given them, you've kicked a hornet's nest, and the longer you give them to prepare and start seeking out what happened here, the worse we are.
Mm-hmm. Is that like kind of the discussion as the three of you are walking into town?
Yeah, like I'm ready to leave tomorrow.
I love it.
Okay,
it's so good.
I would have gone an hour after you brought them back last night.
Ash cosplaying.
This is the kind of urgency I would welcome to the Cabal.
I like it.
Noted.
Did we just become best friends? Yup. Cool. And that's going to set this up very, very nicely, because then we cut back to man, there's so many names. How do 4 players have 8 names? We cut back to Papa Legba and Baba Sera.
I think you mean 12 names.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's God, yeah, it is 12, isn't it? Yes. So we cut over to Papa Legba and Baba Sera. As I'm realizing now, do we coax Jeremiah to sleep?
Not yet.
Okay, but we will.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, that works, because we're gonna get cinematic. Go ahead and return us back to where you were introducing Baba Sera to something interesting.
Perfect. Yes. So he says, I'd like to show you something interesting. So as Baba Sera walks up, she sees that on this irregular, just naturally hewn area of this mine, some of which has been chipped away to make this little cavern, right? There is an unusually well eroded portion of the wall that's about chest height for Legba. And so not too tall for anybody else unless they're a child, but we're not going to have any child mages, right? So not worried about that. But it looks like there are around a smooth portion, there are divots for fingerprints arranged radially. And so as he starts talking, he moves his hand around this area to show that you can put your outstretched hand there in all kinds of different configurations and different orientations, and you can place it in there. So he starts talking just leaving Jeremiah there, right? And he says, some of the things that we do, and to contrast it with what Helena said, which was so good, what would have happened in the meantime is Legba says this to Baba Sera. I feel that as of late, we've been too hasty in investigating that which interests us. But I don't mean that we are proceeding too quickly. I mean that our haste is leading to us ignoring the signs of truth that we need see. When you run fast into the wind, a cloth draped over your face is pressed even tighter than it would be if you were walking slowly.
Just a quick question. Are we speaking openly, or are we speaking in high speech here?
Oh, that's a good point.
You're both fluent, aren't you?
We're both
yes,
fluent.
Indeed, we are. Yeah.
Nerds.
I'm trying to think. Would Legba consider that bad?
With Jeremiah in the room, it might be a little disconcerting.
Yes, it would.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to dissuade you. I just wanted to get the flavor.
No worries. Yeah, okay. Totally. He would prefer to have most of this conversation in high speech, but this first part he doesn't. It's just in English. Okay. He says, "Yeah, so we've been hasty." And so he says, in order to see where you're going when you're running across the ground, you need to pull the cloth from your eyes first. This will pull the cloth from our eyes. This will allow each of us in turn to pull the cloth that our true selves believes is holding us back. And then he holds up a finger and he goes to Jeremiah and looms over him. And he says, I would bid you sleep, because the greatest answers are often found in dreams.
I mean, and it's late already, and it's like, oh, okay. And I'm imagining you may even like guide him through some like guided meditation into sleep, very similar to what we've seen before. And, you know,
exactly
10, 15 minutes, he's in that really kind of light. He's not deep asleep, but it's enough that like he's out. He's unconscious.
Yeah. Perfect. So then he comes back over to it and then switches into clearly fluent high speech. And he says, this space will allow your daemon to insist upon which truth is most prominent to everyone present.
Folks at home, no, you cannot find this spell in the book. Ralph made it up. We fine-tuned it a little bit. And it's kind of fun if you have the required arcana for it.
You're aware that my daemon and I had a bit of have a
Cold War,
a detente. We don't often see eye to eye. Just making sure you're aware.
I am.
You haven't made progress on that in 10 years?
Yes, exactly.
they reached a detente.
Each week, I lament that the state of affairs hasn't progressed to friendship. But sometimes what is most important to reach, to cross a threshold, is to understand what the other values the most. And in this case, I believe that you disagree about which veils need first be removed for both of you to reach the point of enlightenment that is most valuable for you together.
I will say we were making good progress until Enright died. Now that Ike is back on the throne, we're much more at odds again.
I'm amused that you used the word throne.
So
chosen with intent.
Do you was Warner Enright, and Ike is just merely Ike?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering if that was an intentional thing. I like that.
Yes.
And I imagine it's a lot of the town. Like some people started calling him Mr. Enright, and just for some reason it didn't.
It doesn't feel right.
Click, and everybody just calls him Ike, and he hates it.
No, he doesn't like it.
I
imagine
his goons are just constantly being like, "It's Mr. Enright."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And more than one fist fight has happened at the tavern. Somebody trying to insist, and it's like not happening.
That's so good.
Not happening, bro. Sorry, continue.
No worries. He says, Ike was also making progress until he lost both of his parents, and then was subjected openly to the suspicion of the town, that which they kept hidden in the favor. Well, okay. I mean, I know, Drew. I know, but still, like, come on. He says that Ike no longer had the goodwill of the town conferred upon him indirectly through the presence of his benevolent father. He is now just who he is, and he is also who he is after having lost the two people who loved him the most. You lost the two people who loved you the most, and it affected you.
I'm not unsympathetic to his situation, but I believe that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it.
And Ike has been a dick.
Yeah, and he's not doing himself any favors. He wasn't beforehand either. His sense of entitlement is very grating on many people. And now he has the power to enforce that sense of entitlement. But that's neither here nor there, I think, to our current discussion. I'm certainly willing to pull her out and have a talk. I just wanted you to be prepared that there's been some more friction lately since Enright's passing.
I appreciate you for reminding me. You needn't actually pull her out, because upon placing your hand here and expending a small measure of your will, you will give her the opportunity to do what she feels best in helping us see the light.
I think that might be a bad idea.
You see Legba smiling, right?
You remember her, right? And the grand necropolis that she wants to build?
Yes.
Still does, by the way.
Still does.
You need reach and understanding. She believes that the building of that will finally put you two above, or no, will raise you above the concerns that you have that she believes is petty. She believes you have the wool over your eyes and it need be pulled off, torn off, viciously, and thrown to the ground as you stride above the broken bodies of those who hold you back. Let's understand together why she believes that this truth is that which will lead you to self-actualization.
And you think this will help with Jeremiah?
I think that this is an unorthodox approach that will prevent us from running headlong into the wind with the cloth over our eyes that we've forgotten about.
Okay.
He smiles and starts a slow laugh in a deep voice.
Thea will place her hand on the plinth.
Great. Can I do a little table talk here, Drew, to share stuff in case everyone's interested? So, what Cloak did is he imbued the space. So he used the imbue space spell from Signs of Sorcery to make this ritual area an imbued object, an imbued space, and then the custom spell creates a space within, such that a mage's daemon is able to declare or like change how truth is defined, provided that it is consistent with what the daemon believes is the route to wise self-actualization for the mage. So the truth that the mage witnesses is interpreted through the daemon. Whatever you view, whatever their truth is defined as what the daemon believes the mage needs to see.
Okay. It is a pure hallucination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's no matter here, there's no forces here. It's all in your head.
Yep. It's all in your head.
Still could do some stuff, but
yep.
Generally speaking, it's, to view things.
Yep. But the truth you perceive
you're out here making
within this space.
You're out here making the super ego holodeck.
Yeah.
And you're locked in here with the computer.
Yep. And so, yeah, anybody can go there because it's an imbued spell. Legba doesn't have to cast it. Whoever places their hand upon the plinth in whatever orientation they prefer with their hand, because I thought that should be cool with the ridges, and then spends a mana, can activate the imbued space, and then this effect happens. If there are two daemons, as Drew suggested, the best part of this is if there are two daemons present activating and one hasn't yielded, then there's a clash of wills to determine which truth is the one that supersedes all others.
Which daemon would sell?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's a good place for us to stop. Yeah, what a surprise. Drew warned everybody that he wasn't prepped. So we'll jump into this, and I'll have a chance to chat with Ralph and Craig about what kind of scenario is going to happen, and we'll see where we go from there. But for those of you at home, thanks for joining us. Always appreciate you joining us and spending some time with us. If you're listening on your commute to and from work, I hope you had a good day. For the rest of you, I hope you had a sucky day.
I hope it was better because you weren't at work.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for making us part of your day wherever you are, whenever you are. If you want to come chat with us on Discord, and I'm going to say this because people keep not believing me, you can join the Discord right now. www.yeetinto.space. Come hang out and talk about what you're listening to. Learn to play mage, tell us about your game, all that kind of stuff. We'd love to have you. Please come by. It is a totally chill place, and you're totally allowed to lurk.
Animals, lurking is fine. There's no gatekeeping going on. It's a really welcoming community.
Yep. I've been very, very pleased with what we've managed to build here. If you want to support us monetarily, get your name read out. That's www.staylucky.club. Support us monetarily. Money goes towards equipment and art and the occasional TTRPG book that I just have to have to attack my players with, or promise future Chronicles or games to Ash. The Harlequin book came out. Whoa! Who knows when it'll actually happen, but it's in the log of all the other stuff. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, my players, and we'll see you all next time.
See ya.